From the backwoods and the swamp waters of the Sunshine State and all across America and the world, this is the Big and Wild Outdoors.
Hey everybody, welcome in. It is the Big and Wild Outdoors. I'm Braden Gunn, this is Captain Vince Noble, and we are out at Maximo Park. Maximo Park.
Right on the edge of St. Pete, right before the Skyway Bridge.
Skyway's right over there, and St. Pete's over there somewhere. But this is a nice park, and it is probably one of the boat ramp capitals of Florida.
Dude.
Besides Key West, I mean, there are boats coming in and out of here every second of day and night.
Did you drive by the ramp?
Oh yeah.
Good Lord, it's like a rodeo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and there are some really nice pieces of machinery going in and out of here. I saw a guy launching a nice contender, and I was just like going, man, how do you even put gas in that thing?
That's $700,000 worth of boat. It's at probably a $3,000 gas bill.
Yeah, at least. And one of the good things about Maximo is the fact that you literally, if you go out right underneath this bridge back here, it'll take you straight around the curve by Fort DeSoto, and then make another little left to the left, and then a right, and you're bam in the Gulf of Mexico. And if you go that way, 10 minutes, you're in the Tampa Bay, and you make a right. You go past Egmont Cape, bam, you're in the Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of America. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
It's still Gulf of Mexico to me. I'm sorry. I can't get on board the Gulf of America. To me, it just
I'm trying to bring it into my vernacular as I speak.
I can't.
I've
tried.
Well, you got to remember, for Floridians anyway, we never said the Gulf of Mexico. We always just called it the Gulf.
Yeah, pretty much.
Of course, anybody visiting here calls it the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's sitting right over there.
Oh, let's go to the beach. I want to sit by the ocean. I'm like, I am not driving all the way across the state over there to go to Cocoa.
Exactly.
And they're like, no, I just want to go to Clearwater. I'm like, that's the Gulf.
Do you know how many times in my own household we have this conversation?
Oh, I bet, yeah.
I am like, it is a Gulf. A Gulf is not the ocean.
No, it is not. It's the Gulf.
But then her rebuttal is, well, is there great white sharks in the Gulf? Yes. Then it's an ocean.
No,
it's not an ocean.
They swim from the ocean to the Gulf. Speaking of great white sharks, did you see they caught one off of the coast of off of Cape Hatteras up in the Carolinas?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How big?
13 foot, and they estimated it to be about 1,400 pounds. Now here's the kicker: they caught it off the beach. Beach fishing. Caught it off the beach.
That's no bueno. that makes you think twice about going into the water.
13 to 14 feet. They don't really know for sure. That was a rough estimate, and the rough guess was around 13 to 1,400
So
pounds.
if you're beach fishing, at the most, you're out 300 yards.
If you kayak it out there and go out there, that's about right. Yeah.
That big boy was close.
Yeah, and
that's a little nerve-wracking.
Well, as I've tried to point out to my children and anybody else, that water over there is totally different than that water over here. You go out and you can walk 100 yards off into the Gulf off of the West Coast, and you're standing in chest-deep water.
Most times.
You step off of the beach off of Cocoa and anywhere else, you're in 10 to 12 feet. It drops off, and then it drops off again, and then boom, there's the Gulf Stream.
I mean, the last time I was in Lauderdale, I mean, not even a mile off the beach. I would say maybe a half a mile. It's like hundreds of feet deep.
Oh, you're in 1,000 feet of water, bro.
Quick.
Yeah, but
so I can understand it being that close to the beach. But if it was that close to the beach here, we got issues.
You know what's funny is I read the story this past week about the great white shark, but they never mentioned what they used for bait. Because anytime I ever see somebody they always catch a great white shark, I always picture that scene in Jaws where the guy goes, my wife is going to kill me if she sees I'm using our best Sunday roast. And he's like, putting that giant hook in that big chunk of meat and throwing it out there.
We were shark fishing with a half a cow.
To catch a 1,300-pound shark, you have to tempt that boy to come in. So maybe it was like a full-size bonita or something.
That, or there was also maybe putting blood in the water too. I mean, that's illegal to do, but
I think it might be legal up there. I don't know. It's not legal here.
Idea.
Well, okay.
Technically, it's illegal.
it's technically legal if you have the chum bag or whatever bag hanging off the side of a kayak offshore. So if you go out on the beach and you paddle a kayak out, say you tow another kayak with you and you anchor that one and it has a chum bag on it, that's legal because it's still attached to the boat.
But you can't just have it free floating in the water.
Yeah, that's that gray area that our friend Bill George always likes to find.
Where's Bill when you need him?
He's out turkey hunting, man.
Still? Is he still south?
Oh, dude, he's now he's got competition because George the hippie.
Yeah.
He already got his turkey in. Got it off the property, got it off the D's Nuts Ranch up there. And got him a nice bird up there. Killed it with a 410. Called it right in. So.
Well, when's turkey season in Georgia? Is that the 29th? 29th through the 4th? April 4th? 29th is on private land, and then on the 4th is public land. Okay.
Up in Georgia.
So I wonder when Bill's going to start heading towards our area of Chattanooga and North Georgia area.
He only hunts here in Pennsylvania. That's it.
I'm surprised he doesn't go to Georgia, to be honest with you.
I went to Georgia for turkey season, and I didn't. This is why you should always read the rules and talk to the landowner about what is legal, what's not legal, what do you want me to shoot, what don't you want me to shoot. I don't know how many times I've walked in off somebody's ranch and they've gone, "What'd you see out there?" I go, "Well, I got kind of blown. I had 2 coyotes came in. They go, 'Did you shoot them?' And I go, 'Well, no, I didn't shoot them. I didn't think you wanted me to.' He goes, 'No, man, you see coyotes, you shoot them.' I'm like, 'Well, why didn't you tell me that at the beginning? I'd have killed them both.'"
You got to ask those questions because if you don't know, man, you can't just go out.
Bobcats, coyotes, all that. You got to make sure you ask about all those things. Otherwise, you just sit there going, ugh. My one is I'm sitting there and I'm doing my soft calling, which now I see is now the hip thing to do. Now everybody else is doing the soft calling. It's not doing the call. I used to sit there with a slate call and just basically just purr. It's just nice, easy.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, when you see chickens and they're feeding, those hens, what are they doing? They're just soft talking and they're just like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?" Same thing with hens. When you watch hens and they're feeding, they're doing the same thing. They're talking to each other.
Almost cooing
almost. So it's like a calming thing. So birds don't come in on the alert. They're not coming in all jacked up looking for, some hot hen, like, "Oh!" And so I had this whole group of hens come in, and I'd look, and the lead hen, of course, all I see is beard. This first bird had about a 10.5, 11-inch beard. And I was like, "Oh boy, we're on now."
Here we go.
And I get up, and as she walks in, 15 yards away, it's a hen. It's a bearded hen.
I didn't know that was even possible.
Oh yeah,
I did not know that.
So, at the time in Florida, you could not shoot bearded hens. So, Florida mentality, I let her walk. She walked right past me, literally, like 10 feet away from me, walked right by with all of her girlfriends, kept right on going. So when I got back to camp, I was sitting there, I was talking to the crew and everybody that were there, and I was like, "Man, I had this really nice bearded hen come in, with about a 10, 11-inch beard. Did you shoot it?" "No, I didn't shoot it." "Why didn't you shoot it?" "Because they're not legal." "They are in Georgia." And I'm like,
because you're in Georgia. Yes.
I was like, "Well, nobody told me that." Nobody told me that. I'd have had them out, man. That'd have been a straight up right on mount for that, man.
That would have been a perfect way. Do you still have their turkey mounts, or did you get rid of those?
I got one turkey mount that's in Jonathan's archery shop. That's my flying turkey. That's the 20.
I remember that one. Yeah.
That's the 25-pounder Osceola, 3rd in state, by the way. But since I didn't get it registered, it means nothing. But and then my other turkey mount is out at Airborne Arms out in Plant City. It's at the gun shop.
Okay.
They wanted to put them up in there. They took a lot of my mounts and put them in there. And
so you used to have a bunch. I remember coming to the house. I'm like, good night.
Well, when I moved into the smaller, and I moved into the other house, I didn't have any room for them. I had no room for all of them. I had heads. I had heads everywhere. So all of a sudden, I was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do with my heads. So all these gun shop owners were like going, "I'll take that turkey. I'll take that deer head. I'll take that axis deer. I'll take that fallow deer. I'll take that." So you go into Airborne Arms and boom.
It's Braden Guns collection.
It's the Braden Gun collection up there.
Well, it's like you talking, going back to turkeys. I remember 2 years ago I went to Wisconsin in like July.
Right.
And there was turkeys everywhere. And they're like, well, let's go shoot them. I'm sorry, was it July? When the heck did I go?
Yeah,
July?
you went up there. It was like in the springtime or something. It was kind of warm.
It was out of turkey season. No, it was out of turkey season though.
Right. It was turkey season.
It was out of. It was because he said we can't shoot any because we're out.
Oh,
bro, you want to talk about some big boys? There were some big everywhere we turned around. There was turkey. I'm like, can we just not shoot one?
Yeah, they know when it's turkey season.
Nuts.
They know when it's not. Well, speaking of turkeys in Georgia, if you're going to go out and you're going to go out on private land, you're going to get out on public land, you better get out in the woods early because apparently there's a couple of, I didn't even know they were up in there. I knew they were in Wyoming. I didn't know they were in Georgia. But they're noticing more and more golden eagle attacks on turkeys in Georgia.
Really?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there's one that got caught on a trail cam. There was a bunch of turkeys out there, and this golden eagle came down, got all of this turkey, whooped the crap out of it, and killed it, and then drug it off, flew off with it. I mean, they're huge.
I didn't think they were in Georgia. I thought they were only out in like the Wyoming, Montana areas.
The first time I ever saw one, I was in Wyoming, and it was sitting on top of a windmill out on a ranch, and I was like, "What in the hell is that pterodactyl up there?" That is a big bird. I thought it was a buzzard. I was like, that is a big. And he goes, no, man, that's a golden eagle. And I was like, what? So get out the old Swarovskis that they had there, get up there and look at it. I was like, that thing's got to be standing 4 feet tall, man.
You don't realize how big they are until you get up close and personal.
That thing was huge. He goes, oh yeah, they'll grab a baby antelope, take right off with it, fly off with it. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
That's insane.
So apparently now these, as the porpoises, dolphins, crapfish that you want to call them, have learned at Fort DeSoto and other places, it's easier just to go and steal other people's stuff. And, so these golden eagles, the problem is they teach it to another generation, just like these dolphins do. And so now there's this whole family group of golden eagles up in Georgia that are easy pickings on turkeys, I guess.
Opportunist hunters.
I guess.
That's what they are.
So it's easy peasy. Let's go and get, hey, I'm feeling a little peckish. You want to go get some turkeys? Hey, let's go get turkeys.
You hold one and I'll grab them from the other guy.
I got a good spot. This dude's got a feeder set up, man. It's awesome. Problem is, they're going to probably catch us on trail cam, but it's all good.
Hey, and like we're talking about how big they are. It's like if you're in our area, we have I forget the name. I call it Turtle Park, but it's off of Walsingham Road in Largo, like Dohana Park. I'll have to put it up there later. They call him Sarge. They have a bald eagle in there.
Yeah, I used to have him.
He's a big boy too, and I think golden eagles, aren't they bigger than the bald eagle?
They are.
So I mean, he stands at least this high. This high. He's like 3 feet tall.
When I was a kid, there used to be one on the corner of Riviera Bay. When I go out on the boat, right on the right-hand side, over by what we used to call the rocks, or the whitecaps. And there was one big tall pine tree, and they had a nest there for generations. I mean, it's huge nest. And they were there forever. And then one day they weren't there, and then all of a sudden they built houses there. I wonder how that happened. So, because as long as the eagles were there, they couldn't build nothing.
Yes.
But as soon as the eagles were gone, it was like, boom! Houses everywhere. The only other time I've seen that many concentrated was on Brahma Island out in the middle of Kissimmee, where when they're done with the hunt and they take all the offal and they throw it out on the gut pile around the back side of the island.
Right.
All these big giant bald eagles, they come in and get anything that's red. They'll take the livers, they'll take the hearts, they'll take kidneys,
and they'll leave the rest of it.
They'll leave all the rest of it. They'll leave the others.
That's interesting.
They'll leave the scraps for the buzzards.
Well, but you think of all that red, the hearts, the livers, the kidneys, nutrients, proteins, vitamins, mineral. I mean, all of that. So they're smart enough to know what to eat. Don't eat the dark meat. It's garbage.
I went out there one time after we were out there hunting. We had a couple of big gut buckets. We were gonna go. I went to help Billy go dump them. And we drive out there in the old purple Jeep we used to call Barney. And we get there and we're dumping the stuff off, and there was this eagle there, and as it saw us coming, it flew off. And as it flew off, it lost a tail feather. So I went over there and I picked up the tail feather, and I walked back over to Billy, and I was like,
no bueno.
I was like, dude, check it out, a tail feather. And he literally just went, bam,
knocked
like
it right out of
knocked
your
it
hand.
out of my hand.
That's illegal.
And I was like, what the hell? He goes, man, don't touch those. And I was like, what? I'm thinking, why? Has it got lice on it, or disease, or avian flu, or
highly illegal.
He goes, man, you can't touch those. You can't pick those up. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, man, it's illegal. It's the only people who are allowed to touch those are biologists, that are ordained to be able to pick them up, or Native Americans. That's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me? And he goes, no, bro. He goes, that's like a huge fine.
Which I never understood it. I can see if it falls out of the bird and it's laying on the ground.
But you have no proof.
Videotape me picking this feather up off the ground. There's your proof.
Then you got it, as they say, you have to go, prove that in court, because otherwise, what's to say you didn't shoot the eagle, take a couple of feathers off of it, and then go home and you go, oh, I found these. You can't prove that, No,
you make a valid point.
So what they did is they just said, blanket, nobody gets them. So that way nobody can go, well, a friend of mine gave it to me. Who was a friend? Oh, it was Vince Noble. Is he Native American? No. Then you can't have it.
I got it from Rusty Eagle Feather John. And he gave...
my old boss, Jay Miller, was out in New Mexico or somewhere. They were looking at land. They were going to get in the cattle ranching business. And he went to some shop, and he was looking around, and the guy, he did the whole... you don't have any like Indian type motif stuff that, for sale or anything like that. And the guy goes, well, I got something special in the back that I could show you. And he's like, okay. And he brings out this freaking headdress.
Good Lord.
Like a
real deal headdress.
Yeah, like a real deal headdress. And so he's like, well, what do you want for this thing? And he goes, well, I can't take less than 10 grand for it. And Jay, of course, was a well-off kind of individual, and he asked Jamie, he's like, Jamie, do you want to buy this, put it up in the house? And she's like, oh yeah, I'd love to put it on, mount, and put it in the house. And so he buys it
for 10 grand.
For 10 grand.
Must be nice.
He gets it back, goes in, puts it in, and they were having a party or something at the house one day, and the guy walks up and goes, man, this is a pretty nice Indian headdress, man. This is really nice. He said, where'd you get it? And he told him. And he said, I think these are real eagle feathers on this thing.
The whole thing?
The whole thing, I think this is real. And he said, it's not fake. And he said, no, I think this is real. So they called a biologist, and they had him come in. And the guy literally walked in, looked at it for 35 seconds, says, you can't own this. And he goes, what do you mean? What do you mean I can't own it? And he goes, you can't own this. He bought like some medicine tomahawk and that headdress. I think he spent like 12, 15 grand in that place. And the guy goes, you got to get rid of this, man.
What am I supposed to do with it?
If you go to the Crazy Horse Museum in Wyoming,
it's there.
It's there. As well as the
tomahawk.
Yeah, the war tomahawk or whatever it was too. It'll say right there, donated by Jay and Jamie Miller. There's a thing on it. Because that's the only thing he could do. And so they gave him an estimate on what it was worth, and so he could write it off on his taxes and all that stuff. But literally, he didn't know. He didn't know.
I mean, how would you know? I mean, I wouldn't have thunk twice. I mean,
no.
I mean, knowing I know now, but I mean, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't have thought about it.
No. And when me and Glenn did our world tour through Wyoming and through Montana and everywhere, we did our whole tour through there. We went to the Crazy Horse, and I walked in there to look for it, and there it was, man. There was the headdress, and walked down a few more things, and then there was the war tomahawk, and both had little plaques donated by Jay and Jamie Miller.
I mean, that's still pretty cool to see. I mean, that's American history right there. I want to do. I mean, and we're going to do a show on it. I want to go down south to like Mayaca, and talk to some of the Native Americans that are down there.
Mayaca.
Yeah. Or what is it? Down, not Mayaca.
You better keep going farther.
Yeah, it's good night. I can't think of the park. What's the park?
You want to go talk to the Miccosukee?
Miccosukee, thank you.
Okay.
I couldn't think of the name. I'm thinking Mayaca. No, Mayaca. That's
Mayaca State Park.
That's wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, that's no.
Because they're right before. They're right before like.
The Everglades is on the other side of Alligator Alley.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to go out there for the Sportsman's Challenge every year, and it was always a lot of fun out there. But yeah, I mean, if you want to talk to Seminoles, it's easy.
I think that'd be kind of fun. It'd be interesting. It'd be fun, educational, and just pretty dang cool.
They have these.
That's what I'm thinking.
They have these little rentals down there. They're called chiquis, and they're not tents, but they're up off the ground on poles. They're traditional Seminole houses, but up on poles, so it's a thatched roof. They did put screening around them and stuff like that, but they're all open, and there's no amenities in there except for 2 beds, and that's pretty much it.
That's camping.
But it gets you up off the ground, and it keeps the dang no-see-ums and the mosquitoes off of you.
I don't know about the no-see-ums. They could probably get through the screen.
No, they had really good ones, but they have it set up really nice down at Billy's, and so you have to go down. You go down. There's bathing facilities down the path down the ways, but there's
none. That'd be a good weekend to go down and spend with them. Learn how to cook and learn how to cook like old ancient foods.
Like what? Fry bread and stuff?
Yeah.
Everything was stewed or cooked over a fire.
I just think it'd be interesting to do it. It'd be fun. It'd be different.
Bring a can of Spam.
Just in case.
Just in case. No, it was always great down there. Billy Swamp Safari, man, it was awesome fun. Man, we had great times down there. All right, we're going to take a quick break. It is the Big and Wild Outdoors. We are live out here, recording out here at Maximo Park. I'm Braden Gunn. This is Captain Vince Noble. Bill George is out in the woods trying to get his birds, because he's never satisfied with just one or two.
That's Bill George.
And
we got some news when we come back.
Oh, we do? Yeah. Big news?
Big and wild news.
Okay. Well, we'll give it to you when we get back. We're going to take a break. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Big and Wild Outdoors. Braden Gunn, Captain Vince Noble, out at Maximo Park, enjoying this beautiful day. Second day of spring, and we woke up to temperatures at around 40-something degrees.
Yeah. Hence the jacket.
Yeah, and I had to borrow this one from Vince because I showed up in a t-shirt, and I was like, okay, it's a little nipply out here, and yeah, I'll take the jacket. And with the cold weather, we have some bird stories. We know that we were informed that the red-throated hummingbird is now migrating south.
All through like the Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Florida. They're coming.
I don't think I've ever seen one in the wild ever.
I've never seen one here.
I've seen one here, but it was not while I was out hunting or out in the woods. It was on somebody's back porch. I heard it before I saw it. I heard that
little airplane coming in.
And I was like, what in the heck is that noise? I look and this thing's over its the little feeder dealio where they put the sugar water in there and all that kind of good stuff.
Was it 4 parts water, 1 part sugar?
I don't know.
Something like that. It's pretty close.
It's like you do when you try to get ants out of the kitchen. It's 1 part borax and
it's called taro all along the edge. I have it in my office, by the way, ants at work. It's irritating the crap out of me.
Borax and sugar, equal parts. Mix it up, put it on the counter. They'll eat it and they'll die.
Right now I got the taro juice down, and they're like...
What the hell is taro juice?
It's the ant attractant. Whatever.
Okay. Whoop. And that does what?
They attract the ants and kills them. They eat it and they bring it back to the nest and kills them.
Taro root kills ants.
No, the ant killer stuff. It's called taro.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's just stuff that I got, man. It's working. It better start working because it's right here taking the crap out of it.
I told you, man. All you got to do is you mix some borax and a little bit of sugar and mix it together.
And we're good to go.
And you're good to go.
If that doesn't work by next week, I'll be doing that. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Well,
I would love to see a red-throated hummingbird, though. That would be cool.
Why?
Because I just find them fascinating.
They are fascinating, but there's not much meat on them. They're just teeny tiny.
I don't want to eat them. I just want to watch them.
I guess you'd cook them in honey. Sweet sauce would be good.
It's like little dumplings. What do you want?
I guess, you'd be like a sardine. You just eat them bones and all. Because, they're so small. Just got to crunch them up.
I have a sneaky suspicion that you probably can't.
I guarantee you can eat one.
Yeah.
Now, whether it be legal or not, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Legal-wise, I'm not 100% sure, but we might have to look into that.
And the other story that I read this past week about birds anyway was the fact that a lot of our migratory watchmen are saying that they're seeing decline in numbers of ducks these years. And they don't know what it's attributed to. They don't know, of course, nobody wants to talk about the dreaded, bird flu or anything like that, but it seems that the vast majority of them are saying it's a loss of habitat, and that all these people that are building houses out around everything, and of course, where does everybody want to live?
On the water.
On the water. So they build houses on lakes and all that stuff, and those ducks are like going, yeah, I ain't going down there. Until a few brave ones get there, and then all of a sudden they become resident ducks, and then they don't get hunted. Kind of like some of the mallards or greenheads we have around here.
We have tons of ducks around here. I mean,
you got geese in your old house
we used to sit. So I used to live in Bardmore, and across the street from my house was a man-made lake. We were sitting in there one day just talking, and Braden's like, "Bro, what is that? That sounds like geese." I'm like, "Yeah, they're across the street. We can pop them here from the couch." I'm like, "No,
they're a non-native species.
We're in a neighborhood. We can't do that." He goes, "Well, just put a silencer,
we got suppressors, man.
We'll be fine."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, we're going to go to jail. We're not doing this."
And now here's the funny part. When I inquired to an FWC officer and he talked to his lieutenant, they said that if it's in the county and it's over water, it's a non-native species, yes, you are allowed to shoot them.
What if it's an incorporated?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But if it's in the county, if you could catch them to or from, or if it's on private land. So, what's next to you, right across from you? Bardmore Country Club.
That's private land.
It's private land. So if you got out there, let's say, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, boom, 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 before the golfers show up, you get yourself about 4 or 5 Canadian geese, beep, go home.
Out on the golf course.
Out on the golf course.
That's private property.
Exactly.
But then you get arrested for trespassing on
private property. No, if you have
property.
Permission from the private landowner.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
I'm not telling you to do anything illegal.
I don't know. You wanted to pop geese from the couch.
That's different.
I'm just saying.
That's a little bit different because that's
a little Slim Shady
That
action.
was right there in your own neighborhood, so it was a little bit different. It depends on how much your neighbors like you.
But here lies the other question. After you pop them, how do you get them?
What do you mean, how do you get them? You walk over there and pick them up.
But then they know you shot them.
Not necessarily. Send your kid over. Send your
At
kid
that
over
time,
again.
At that time, you could have sent B. He was small.
Yeah.
It would have worked.
Yeah, I went over to see if I could help, Dad.
Daddy, I saw this bird and it was flopping around.
It looked sick, so I want to bring it home to nurse it back to health in the oven. In the big green egg. But no, they're saying that there's a decline in numbers of different species of ducks and migratory birds that they're seeing throughout the Midwest and around through the Southwest. The ones that the migratory birds that come out through Tennessee and through Georgia and through the areas like that and only make it, maybe they come to Florida, maybe they don't. A lot of them stop kind of like up there in the Monticello area. So a few of them make it down to like Okeechobee and Kissimmee and stuff like that, but they don't make it over here like they used to. When I was a young kid growing up, used to be able to go out on Riviera Bay and there'd just be rafts of ducks everywhere. Now you see them occasionally on the Howard Franklin when you're going across.
I saw them last time we went over that way.
They're canvasbacks and scobs and things like that, but the ones that people want to eat, they seem to go another migratory route. Another one, people are speculating that all the older ducks that taught the younger ducks the migratory routes are the ones that are being killed off, so the younger ones don't know where they're going, or they just find their own way and they go somewhere else.
What about all the Muscovy ducks that we have? We have tons of those.
Those are legal to take, by the way, and they're a non-native species.
And they're very greasy.
You can take them any time of the year.
We used to
any time of the year.
Growing up, we used to have them. We lived on Lake Seminole, and we used to have them nest in our front yard. So for a while, we were on a duck egg kick. We would have duck eggs for breakfast. They weren't very good.
When we when the ducks populations would get a little bit out of control around the Fossil Park area in St. Petersburg, for about the next week we'd see these white trucks driving around with these big giant like hoop nets, like 8 foot across, wire open, where you throw them like a frisbee.
Yeah.
And they would throw them over the Muscovies and catch them out through the neighborhood and go grab them and throw them in little boxes like dog boxes in the back of the truck and then drive away. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know where they went.
You bring up something, a valid thing that just sparked a memory in my brain. So you remember Lake Seminole on Park Boulevard? Do you remember where there used to be that Chinese restaurant that was right there? I kid you not, they had duck on the menu.
Well, why
but
not?
I never saw any ducks around the restaurant. So
there's nothing wrong with that. They're perfectly legal to take. So it's all good.
Now you got me wondering.
Yeah. They're delicious.
I didn't think so. I thought they were greasy.
You put enough sweet and sour sauce on anything, and it's awesome.
Well, talk about migrations too. When's the monarch butterfly? Aren't they?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I thought you would know these things.
What the hell do I care?
You're like the king of the outdoors.
Yeah, but monarchs. What? How many do I have in my freezer? I don't know.
Butterflies?
Yeah. It's not like I'm going to eat them.
I don't know. It's just migration. It's springtime, man. Things are moving.
Do they come here?
They come as far. I know they come to Georgia and North Florida. I'm not sure. Mexico is usually where they go to. I think they kind of bypass Florida and fly over the Gulf of America and go to Mexico, or around the top, through like Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Texas, and then into Mexico.
I don't know. I know nothing about monarch butterflies except that they're born somewhere and they migrate thousands of miles.
Canada, I believe.
And then make babies and die. I don't know.
They come from Canada and they migrate to.
I thought they came from Mexico.
No, they go to Mexico. They come from Canada. They fly down to Mexico for the winter.
I don't know why they go all the way to Mexico. You can buy tequila just about anywhere now.
You're so dumb.
I don't know why you have to go all the way to Mexico.
So you want the big news?
The big news, yeah. Give me big news.
We got a couple of big newses. So we now have
big newses.
Big newses. We're making words up on the Big and Wild today. We just roll with it.
Okay. What is your big news?
Big and Wild has been back on the web, baby.
What do you mean?
We got our website.
Website's back?
Yeah, website's back. And I had to say, it looks pretty darn good.
What is it? What's the address?
It's bigandwild.com. BIGNWILD.
The letter N?
The letter N. Bigandwild.com.
Big and Wild.
Is it outdoors? I think it's outdoors.
Okay.
Yeah, bigandwildoutdoors.com.
I
made it. I just had to think about it for a minute.
Look, I don't know.
Like
I made this child, but I don't know its name.
I mean, what was it? Bill Cosby said it best. GD and GC when he called his kids. Remember back on his comedy?
No.
He used to thought his name was Jesus Christ or GD.
Oh, God.
Because that's what his parents called him all the time.
I don't know.
Yeah, you have to watch it.
Big and Wild
Outdoors.com.
Yes, okay. Sir. Is there all the links to Carbon TV and UCTV3?
Yeah, all the schedule. Everything's up on there. It came out. I'm not trying to break my arm and pat myself on the back, but I think it came out pretty darn good.
Well, I'll have to
I'm
take a
very
look at
happy with it. And then other big news is if you're looking to advertise on Big and Wild or showcase your product or
now this I did know.
Want us knuckleheads to come out and visit your place and do a show at your place, we now have a lead salesperson. Her name is Lauren, and she's going to be taking care of all the schematics and analytics and all the background stuff for us, so we can come out and do other things.
That's cool.
I'm pretty excited about that. She's based out of Arkansas. She's an Arkansas girl. She likes to hunt and fish, and she's going to be a good part of the team.
You know what? We should call her and find out what's going on in Stuttgart, because that's like one of the duck hunting capitals of the world, in Stuttgart, Arkansas.
We're actually working on a couple of things. She has some people that actually owns a camp out there, and if we can make it work, we might actually take a trip out and do some hunting.
In Stuttgart?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down for that.
Yeah, so if you're watching, Lauren, make that happen.
That means I'll have to buy a different gun.
That's all right, though. So yeah, it's actually kind of cool, and all her information's on the website as well. So if you
want to contact her or anything, or
yes,
you're an advertiser and you want to get in?
Phone number, email, you can email her. She's going to be coming on the show at some point when we figure out how to link up and record it there and hear it at the same time, so we can have her on the show so she can chit chat. But definitely, it's a new direction Big and Wild is going. Hopefully, we can start spreading our wings a little bit and getting out of state.
Very nice. Well, on a different note, as you know, we are out at Maximo Park is where we are, and this is one of the areas where a lot of the captains and guides and guys meet up with their clients here to go out, because it's such an easy hop to get to the Gulf of Mexico for one thing, and then also Terracea across the way. Yep. Then around Pinellas Point, there's across the way, and you've got
Keys right there.
Egmont Key, you got Manatee power station with a big channel there, so there's a lot of grouper fishing and inshore type stuff. This is an area that has been well known for guides and captains, and you probably heard during the last segment I got a little text message, and I got one from one of the guides. I don't want to say his name, but he's very well known in the area. He just said, "Hey, I just walked up on some punks who were about to break into my truck. I think it's time to get a weapon to protect myself. So what brand of pepper spray or whistle should I buy?" Now, I think he's being funny because the pepper spray, I that's a deterrent.
You know what whistle I would buy? It's about this big, and it has the word Glock on the side.
Oh, yeah.
That's the whistle I want.
Well, I've tried to tell this to people before. I said, now, this is the kind of guy who doesn't want to, he doesn't want to kill anybody. Nobody does, but, that Verna launcher type thing, that kind of paintball-y gun, but it shoots pepper balls, or it shoots what they call kinetic rounds and stuff. It's a non-lethal type deal. For a captain or a guide or somebody like that, why wouldn't that be a good choice? If you don't want to, burn somebody and put them in the ground.
I mean, it'll still hurt, be effective, and make them run, go.
Yeah, no, for a situation like this where that he walked up on them as they were trying to break into his vehicle, lighting them up with that is perfectly legal. Whereas if you pulled a gun,
then you have repercussions.
It's a different type of situation. So I think that's why he was asking, what kind of pepper spray or whistle should I buy? But whistle, whistle. I mean, that to me is just the most useless thing ever on the planet.
Can they make a whistle that sounds like a Rottweiler?
Yeah. And, as for pepper spray, again, that's one of those things where, unless there's a confrontation and, there might be hands put on, or, it's going to escalate to a certain point where you can use that to de-escalate, that's the other situation where you can use that. The Verna launcher is the same way, but if you walk up and you got that thing in your hand, if you go look at those things online,
they look like a gun.
They look like a gun. So to that person, the bad part is if you have that,
and they have guns,
and they have a real firearm,
then you got a problem.
Then you better be a damn good headshot. You better be able to put, 2 in the eye holes or whatever it is that you need to do to pepper that guy where he can't see where he's shooting, or be faster than a bullet. I don't know how you're going to run that.
That's a hard situation to be in, because you don't know what they have. And if you just have pepper spray, then you also have to realize if you pull that spray out and spray it, which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah.
Because if it's coming at you, guess what? You're just sprayed yourself.
I love it because one good friend of ours, he put this on a group chat with us, and our buddy Dean Earl wrote back and he said, the Springfield 1911 spray works really good.
See, he had the same thoughts I did. My spray has Glock on it.
Springfield 911 works really good. When you start spraying it, it works really good. Well, I guess he didn't go on. I wrote back and I was like, what happened? Did they run or whatever? And he hasn't written me back yet, so I don't know. So, but a day like today, there's a lot of people heading out to the Gulf of Mexico. As you can tell,
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's flat, calm. There's just a slight breeze, and there's going to be lots and lots of people heading offshore today.
I'm surprised we don't hear a lot of music, because right over this point over my left shoulder, Eckerd College is right there.
Yeah.
And it's spring break.
It's probably too cold.
Yeah, well, think about all the kids at Eckerd College. They're probably not from Florida.
That's what I mean.
So they're probably from, like, the northern states.
So you're saying they'd be out enjoying it?
Yeah,
well, I don't know. It's a Saturday morning, too, so...
It's still early.
They're sleeping.
Yeah, they're hungover.
They're hungover and they're sleeping. They won't get up till, like, noonish.
There are times, though, if you come out here during the summer, it's insane. That whole side, like, right where you launched over here on the boat ramp, I mean, the college is right across the canal.
Yeah.
They're out there jumping in the water. I wouldn't swim in that water back there.
I would.
Nah.
Yeah. That cove that goes all the way back and around to the other
it's
side.
Mucky, it's gross.
Dude, that's just like the canal I grew up on, man. It's the same thing.
That's a perfect little sanctuary for bull sharks there.
It could be. But, you know, as long as you don't go swimming after a real good rain, then you'll probably be okay. It's the runoff that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
When you get out of the water and you can taste nothing but like metallic fertilizer in your mouth, then you know it's a bad day.
Well, that canal runs right back over underneath 275, right over to the marina and back in that area over there.
Well, that was my dad's hiding spot when the hurricanes would come, because his boat, he used to keep it over here at Augie Bush's place over here, where we did the St. Pete Open all those years.
Oh,
Magnuson.
Yep, that's it.
He kept a sailboat there instead of the marina. He'd fly back, he'd come around the point, go back in the mangroves back in there, run like 4 or 5 anchors, and then tie it up to some trees and stuff, and ride it out back there.
You're not going to get a lot back. I mean, you'll still get the rising waters, but you're not going to get tore up back there.
No, and he would run every year.
That's actually pretty smart.
Except for I think the 1 year. What was the one where I was actually? There was the one where I was actually going to evacuate because I had a girlfriend and it was my fiance at the time. And then it turned south and went through Port Charlotte. What was that one?
I think that was Charlie.
Charlie?
Charlie?
That's the one where Dad said, well, it was getting pretty rough and he didn't want to ride it out. So he jumped on his motorcycle and run over to my house and broke into my house.
That was Charlie, because I remember we had boarded up the house, and my neighbors were across the street were FSU fans, and they boarded up their house, and I ran over with spray paint, "Go Gators" on the front of their house.
The rivalry continues. All right, we're going to take a quick break. It is the Big and Wild Outdoors. I'm Braden Gunn. This is Captain Vince Noble. We're out at Maximo Park, home of the Frisbee Golf World Champion something or others.
You ever play that?
No.
It looks kind of...
I'll tell you what I saw when I came in. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Big and Wild Outdoors. I'm Braden Gunn, Captain Vince Noble. We are out at Maximo Park on this beautiful second day of spring.
The home of the mouth of the Gulf of America.
Home of Gulf of America.
Can't do it.
Mouth
it
of.
Just doesn't come out right.
Or as we call it, the Gulf. Speaking of that, man, I was just admiring during the break the water out here today, and I was like,
it's like glass.
I was like, dude, in my youth, on a day like today, I'd be out hydro sliding, water skiing all day. I don't care what the temperature was. We'd be in this water all day long. And if we found a cove back like down by Coffee Pot Bayou,
Yep.
all those houses and stuff back there, my buddy Mike Bruno used to have a really nice hydro stream with a 200 Merc on the back. We weren't hydro sliding at 15, 20 miles an hour. We were hydro sliding at 60, 70 miles an hour.
Oh, to be young and dumb.
Oh,
to go back to those days.
I think of my back surgeon, and I go, what did I do to my back? He goes, what didn't you do to your back?
Yeah, I feel that. I had my back doctor's appointment yesterday to go over my MRI. Come to find out, there's not a lot we can do. I'm like, are you kidding me? I guess I have degenerated disc that's going bad.
Everybody does.
Mine are pretty bad. Mine's, I guess, accelerated. And he goes, we've talked to what have you done? I was like, well, I've done A, B, C, D. He goes, yeah. And they want to do the shots, the nerve block shot, but they've already done that. It's not going to work.
No, it's not. It doesn't last long.
So I guess me and Brent were having a conversation about it yesterday. I gotta slim down a little bit, and I'm gonna start swimming.
Is your doctor a neuro or is he an ortho?
I believe he's an ortho.
Orthopedic guy?
Yeah, he's an orthopedic guy.
As my dad used to always say, you don't want to go to an orthopedic guy unless you want an erector set in your back.
Well, that's what they were talking about. There might be a chance of a surgery. I'm like, that's not happening.
Why not?
Well, depending on the surgery. I don't want to have like an invasive surgery. I mean, if they go with a laser. But again, he said there's not a lot we can do because if he goes in and burns the nerve can grow back in 6 months. So I'd have to be going in every 6 months to a year to have my nerves burned. That's
not necessarily true. I had mine done at the laser spine. How did we get on this subject?
He said being young and dumb and going back to the young days. So it sparked my old brain. I'm like, well, I'm falling apart over here, and I'm not as young as I used to be. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Laser spine did mine 100 years ago, and it's been fine ever since, man. Thank God. Knock on wood.
Well, I'm gonna try the natural route. I'm gonna drop some lbs and start swimming.
Go keto, man. Eat nothing but meat.
I mean, I could do that, but then my cholesterol's going to go through.
No, it's not.
So.
No, it won't. You'll be fine.
Okay, Dr. Braden.
Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be good.
I didn't know you had that PhD behind your name there, buddy.
I do. I got plenty of them. Don't worry about it. Don't ask me about monarch butterflies because I don't know anything about it.
PhD of bull crap.
PhD of living, man. But no, on a day like today, oh my gosh, dude, our neighbors and all the people along Riviera Bay and Coffee Pot Bayou would be hating us.
Yeah, all day long. All I hear is...
There's this... You've been to Coffee Pot, there's the bridge that goes over, and then there's a cove, and in the middle of it, there's a clump of mangroves.
Yep.
That's considered a bird sanctuary. But that used to be where we would do the high-speed run. You'd come in,
and then come around,
and you'd go around that thing and do the whip.
Yep.
And you go into that going about 60 miles an hour, and then you whip it. Oh my gosh,
dude.
You
fall off that slide, you're rolling into somebody's backyard.
If you've ever been on a hydro slide, you're riding on that thing, you're on a knee board, as they call them, and you're like, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. This thing, you were going so fast, all the little ripples, all you'd hear would be like, that's all you'd hear. You were going so fast. Get down as far as you can, pull against the boat, man, and it was just,
just go. Hold on for
your head about maybe 4 inches above the water, and it'd just be like, don't let go. Oh my gosh.
Let go. Like I said, you're in somebody's backyard.
Oh, you'd be on the seawall. But on a day like today, be all out in it. It's so funny because, dude, is that a skipper key? I think that is a skipper key.
What are you talking about?
That dog. That dog
Which
right
one?
there.
The little one?
That little black one. Has no tail.
Sure.
Ma'am. I
don't think she can.
Ma'am. I don't think she can hear me. No. I didn't know those dogs even existed until my sister Belinda had one, and I was like, what the hell kind of wolf dog is that?
You talk about squirrel mode.
And she's like, it's a skipper key. And I go, what the hell is a skipper key? And I guess they were developed for ships to catch and eat rats.
Okay.
Belgian or something, I think that's what they're...
It's called get a cat.
Well, cats are finicky and they don't do well at sea, apparently. Whereas a dog... It'll eat anything a human will eat, so you can throw in scraps or whatever and everything else, and it'll last forever. Yeah, dude, that's a skipper key.
Hey, hold on, wait. I'm trying to reel it back in. Good night.
I noticed a little black dog. It didn't have a tail, and I was like, wait a minute.
We definitely have a knack on this show to go from A to Z in like 2.3 seconds.
Well, that's because we know a lot about nothing. It's all good. But I don't know. Dang it. Wait, I'm trying to see what he wrote back. Nothing yet.
Well, I want to bring up Jim over at Cow Creek Farm. We were over there a couple weeks back.
Oh yeah, man, that's a great place.
I saw an article that popped up on their Facebook that they had to close down for a little bit.
What?
I guess Jim fainted or passed out, and he's in the hospital. I guess they're trying to bring his blood sugars down. Something, I don't know the full story because they didn't put the full story in, but that was like the short version.
Oh man, he's a nice dude.
Yeah,
man.
so
hardworking cowboy.
Yeah, he is one of the last ones left around here.
I think he's an original Plant City boy.
He is. Yep.
And dude, that's a shame. Well, bless Lord protect all those out there.
Prayers going out to the family.
I mean, I hope he's doing all right. When did you see this?
We saw it late last night. We saw that came across on the Facebook page.
So it happened like
yesterday at some point. I must have. But yeah, so it's.
Well, it wasn't hot or anything yesterday,
was
it?
No, he probably didn't realize something and his sugars, and maybe he's diabetic. I don't know the story. I just know I hope he gets well and Godspeed and get back to work.
Wow, dude! I guess they had to close down the tours and stuff.
Everything, yeah. They're doing trying to move it around. I believe Brandon. It was the tour guide.
Yeah.
He's doing extra tours later in the evenings and stuff to try to make up for the people who had to get moved around. But I mean, they're so flipping busy over there. I mean, that's like
who would have thought, man?
Right?
I mean, seriously. I mean, that guy. They were going like gangbusters in that place, man. I mean. And it was like clockwork. Man, it was people on, people off, people on, people off. I mean, that boy works hard, man.
You didn't realize how many people are interested in farm stuff until you get out there and you see all these people and the kids, and it's so rest, get your health back, and let's get back to business. Well,
I always said that. I don't know if it's a revival, with the whole egg thing, and now people are buying chickens. I know that out at G5 they had their chick days again, which was always kind of popular. We'd have these big bins of of chicks, and people would come and buy 4 or 5 of them that live in Plant City in the rural areas of Hillsborough County. But I was talking to Dylan about a week ago, and he's like, "Bro, we were sold out in 2 days."
Oh, I can imagine.
He goes, "We don't know when we're going to get new chicks in, man."
Like how much were they charging for the chicks?
Oh, not very much. I mean,
so you could probably go and buy 4 chickens for the same price you can buy a dozen eggs.
Yeah, probably.
That's ridiculous.
So, but I hope in my heart that this is a revival. Seeing those people out there at Cow Creek and stuff, wanting to know where their food comes from, and in the hunting community, we've always kind of known this because we go out, we kill it, we skin it, we process it, we cook it, so we know where it comes from. We know how it got to our tables. We teach that to our children so they know where the squirrel came from, or that hog or deer or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's not something that's alien to them. Whereas I am floored by the amount of people in this world that live in coastal communities or coastal states or whatever that just somehow miraculously think that
Publix makes all the food.
It somehow grows on a piece of styrofoam.
I told you that. One time I took actually down to Fort DeSoto, but a friend of mine was camping out and they had all their friends over. So I had some wild hog. That's the one time I went out with Toby, I believe, and got it.
Yeah.
And I brought the hog and we put it on the grill, and I'm like, the girl's like, "Oh, is that pork?" I'm like, "Yeah." I didn't want to say wild hog. I mean, yeah, it's pork. So we started eating. She's like, "This is the best pork." And I said, "This is the most organic, hormone-free, range-free food you'll ever get."
That's true.
And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "We shot it yesterday." She ran over to the bushes and started puking.
No way.
I'm like, "What is wrong with you?" She goes, "It's a wild hog. You didn't tell me it was wild." I said, "Ma'am, if I'd have wrapped it up in a public styrofoam container,
it'd have been fine.
Would you have been okay with it?"
Sure.
And then she started getting like really defensive on it. I'm like, "Why are you getting defensive? You should have told me it was wild and you just got it yesterday." I said, "Was it good?" "Well, yeah, it was good, dummy." I don't understand that mentality. It's
the same people that I used to every year at the radio station we would go and I would we do this chili cook-off. And so they'd always say, you know, are you going to make your chili? And I said, yeah, I'll make my chili. And so I'd make these big, make 5-6 gallons of chili. And people would say, well, what kind of chili is this when they would eat it? And I'd say,
as they're eating it.
Yeah. And I'd say, it's 5 meat chili.
Best chili I've ever had. This is awesome.
And they'd say, well, what do you mean 5 meat chili? And I go, well, honestly, it's 5 deer chili. And they'd say, what do you mean there's 5 deers in here? I go, no, there's 5 different kinds of deer in here. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, well, there's elk, there's axis deer, there's fallow deer, there's white-tailed deer, and there's cayuse or moose or whatever I would get from somebody and donate it. And so I would call it 5 meat chili, 5 deer meat chili.
That's funny.
And what was funny is sometimes I would get that reaction where they would eat like half of it, and then they would walk over and throw it away. Then there were others who were like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. I've never had deer before. This is unbelievable. And then you'd have people who were like, oh my God, you know how long it's been since I've had venison? I used to eat it all the time when I was little or younger or whatever. My uncle used to bring us deer, blah, blah, blah. But there'd always be that one that would go, what kind of chili is that? And I would go, it's 5 meat chili. And they're like, oh, 5 different kinds of meat. And I'd go, well, I go, it's 5 different kinds of deer, to be honest with you. And they'd go, wait, you mean like Bambi? And I'd go, well, Bambi is actually a figment of your imagination. It's made of ink and paint, so I wouldn't put that in chili.
But it's, his cousins, and uncles.
No, it's a fictitious animal that never even roamed this earth, and it was drawn with ink and paint. Would you eat ink and paint? So they were like, well, you know what I mean. I go, no, I don't know what you mean. It's deer meat. It's good. It's delicious. Ask this guy. Ask that guy. Ask this dude. That guy's still loving it, and they're going, yeah, man, it's my second cup. And they're like, no, I'll pass. And I'm like, okay, fine.
It blows me away that how many people have that reaction, though. They kind of go off the deep end.
Now,
but you know what would be really good to do? Is to take that ground deer meat, and God bless his soul, put it in the George Foreman grill.
Oh, yeah. Well, while you brought that up, hang on a second. I just happened to download this past week to talk about this.
You actually downloaded something on your phone?
Yeah.
Wow.
The top 10 healthiest meats. Top 10 healthiest meats.
Deer, ostrich, alligator, tuna. I can't say chicken or beef because a lot of it is hormoned and fed. That's all I got. Buffalo.
And you got none of them. Well,
bison.
You got none right.
You got to be kidding me. Stop it.
Number 1 is the same one that I've been saying, but I won't tell you this. We'll start at number 10.
Horse.
Number 10, wild hog, or as they call it, wild boar.
Yeah.
Wild hog. Top 10 healthiest meats to eat. Wild hog. Number 9, whitefish.
Okay.
I don't know what that would be. I guess
probably
it's like cod
or even
haddock or whatever.
Sheephead.
I don't know. Oh, that would be good. Number 8, lamb. I won't eat lamb. I don't like lamb. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Lambs.
I'm not a huge fan.
I always say the same thing. I said lambs taste exactly like they smell. Bad.
So dumb.
They smell bad. Number 7 is chicken. Now, then maybe they were talking about free range or whatever.
They got to be talking about free range because regular chicken that you buy at the store is so hormone.
Some of it is, some of it's not. It depends on what you shop for.
A chicken breast shouldn't be this big and this thick.
Depends on how long you let it grow. Dude, we used to have longhorns, longhorn leghorns, man. They were that tall.
Back in the day on the farm, I get that, but not
digging
all
through horse manure and everything else they were having life. Number 6, turkey.
Wild turkey or store-bought turkey?
It just says turkey. So, I'm going to say that wild turkey is probably better for you than store-bought turkey, but wild turkey just doesn't have a lot of meat on it. Unless you get an Eastern or something like that, they got some weight to them. But
right.
Osceolas, dude, you get a 20-pound Osceola, and after you pluck the feathers off of it, you got 7 pounds of meat. Number 5, beef. Number 5 is beef.
Again. All right.
Number 4, salmon.
Again, farm-raised salmon or free-range salmon?
Number 3, bison. So you did get that one.
I could say bison, yeah.
Number 2, venison. Deer meat. Take your pick. But number 1, and I've always said this from day one, If America knew what these tasted like, there would be none left.
Lionfish.
Elk. Elk is number one.
I've had elk. Elk is actually good eats.
Of the healthiest meats, elk is picked as number one out of the top 10.
Okay.
It's lean, it's beautiful, it's almost got, it depends on where you get it. You got different kinds of meat on different...
So, some of those you've listed are good eats. But again, like the beef, the chickens, the fish, again, there have to be two categories to that, because if it's store-bought or wild, there's two different categories.
Well, then let me ask you this. If you're going to go with that route, would you rather eat a farm-raised barracuda, or would you rather eat a on the reef above a wreck barracuda?
On the reef above a wreck barracuda?
Why?
Because they're eating all the stuff around the reef?
Yeah, that's full of mercury. And they carry that damn bacteria that'll kill you. If it's farm-raised...
But it's farm-raised, you don't know what they're giving them anyway, so they're running the hormones and stuff to fatten them up. What's the difference?
But it doesn't have all the other nasty stuff in it.
Well, first off, I'm not going to eat a barracuda, number one.
Dude, a lot of people eat barracuda.
Oh, that's good. That's a lot of people in Chile eat... What are you looking at?
That osprey. Stole somebody's shirt. That sucker's flying off with a t-shirt. Look.
He got a big old blue t-shirt.
Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
Those kids are going to have a really nice little nest. Look, I brought you a blanket. It's a little cold out here.
But what I'm saying, though, is like, you know, people eat tarpon in Chile. We don't eat tarpon. But
they eat tarpon here.
Who does?
Dude, I told you, I had this old guy that came in one day and he bought a harpoon. I thought he was going gator hunting. And I said, what are you going to... I said, you going out for gators? He goes, no, we're going out for tarpon. I said, what are you going to do with the tarpon if you harpoon it? He goes, eat it. And I was like, you eat tarpon?
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, we've been eating tarpon in this state since I was a little kid. Because this guy was like 80. He was like 80 years old, and he still ate. I mean, they made tarpon like gar. You know, I mean, you look at a gar, you look at a gar, you'd be like, I am not eating that prehistoric nastiness.
But that's my point, though. It's like, if we're gonna go health-wise and the best way is gonna be wild game. It's not gonna be store-bought stuff.
Well, on this one here, you look at the top two, and then the last one, you know, you got elk, venison, and bison. Those would be considered wild game, although bison is raised nowadays on a farm. You have beef, cattle, of course. Turkey could be wild or whatever. Chickens could be taken out of the barnyard. It's no big deal. Lamb is usually, you know, out there, farm raised. You know, I'm sure they have their medications and stuff to keep them from
Let me put chicken in perspective for you. Go watch Super Size Me 2.
I've never seen Super Size Me 1.
Well, Matt Spurlock or whatever his name is? Spurlock is his last name. Go watch that. It's about his way. He wants to open up a chicken restaurant, but he wants to do it a healthy way. And just watch it.
Okay.
You have to watch it, because what you think is healthy is now free-range chicken. You know what a free-range chicken is? They open up the barn door and they put some chicken wire out about 1.5 feet outside.
That was back then. Dude, I've seen ones now that have mobile chicken coops that actually, they run by, they got solar panels and electric motors, and they move across the field, and they literally are in new grass every hour. And then they go across the field and they come back and do it the other way. And
all right, that I'd like to see. Prove me wrong. I'd like to see that.
Well, they do have them. They have them all over the place. These people are now doing these new ways of protecting the chickens, but they're putting them in grass, and they're eating bugs and not walking in their own poop for 18 hours or any of this other stuff. So
that wasn't that long ago. He did a documentary, by the way. So
yeah, he did. Well, before we get out of here, you brought it up. I saw it on the news this morning. It broke my heart.
One of the nicest.
I know it has nothing to do with the outdoors, but George Foreman, God love him, man. I don't know how many hours of enjoyment he's brought to me with my George Foreman grill. Yes, I own one.
I had
one of the originals.
Yep, I had the big white one.
Yeah,
that's the one I had.
Dude, that thing is an awesome invention, especially for bacon. But I can't believe he's gone, man. And you know, when you hear 70 years old, 76, you think, God, that's so young these days.
In today's standard, yeah.
I mean, it's like, I don't know what happened or whatever. Or I just heard that he was gone, and you know, for as much fighting and boxing as he did, and had his mental faculties for as long as he did,
yeah,
he's going to be sorely missed. He's one of those ones that you thought
he was the good guy of the sport.
Yeah, that you think he either live forever, or that you knew that once he was gone, it'd be heartbreaking.
It's reality of life starts to sit in when you see your people you, I would say, idolized but looked up to.
Yeah,
you know, really was liked, and they're starting to go.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't have much time. I got to start doing some stuff.
Well, speaking of time, we are out of time for today's show. We appreciate you tuning in. Remember, you can go to Big N Wild Outdoors, big, the letter N, wildoutdoors.com. Check out the new website that Vince put together. You'll like it. You'll love it. You'll want some more of it. It has all the links to our Carbon TV. It has for the new shows. It has all the scheduling for UCTV3 and other things, how to get in contact with Lauren and everything else like that. It's all right there. BigNWildOutdoors.com. We'll see you next week.
I don't know where we're going to be, but yeah.
I don't either. I'm Braden Gunn. This is Captain Vince Noble. We'll see you next time. Go out and have a great and wonderful day.
See you guys.